Hello everyone, my name is Roxanne and I'm a physical therapist with PT Health Academy. At the beginning of this coronavirus, I did a video on how to exercise when you're stuck at home. It was kind of an inside version. Well, now that the weather has improved, I'd like to try to show you kind of an outdoor version of the same program. I did collect some equipment that will help me through the workout and demonstrating for you, and I want to show you that even if you don't have formal weights at home, there are so many things around your house that you can use. I'm starting with these couple of seltzer bottles I filled up with water. You can use sand or whatever you want to put in them. These weigh about 2 pounds with the water in them, and they're going to work great as hand weights. I have this awesome watering can that I can fill up to varying heights to make, it weigh whatever I want it to. I also found, I was very excited to find my kitty litter. Filled this up with water. It's pretty heavy. I'm going to use this for my carry exercise. Can't wait to get the other one. And then I do have like a bucket I flipped over. I'm going to do squats from. And that's really about it. I'm using my stairs, I'm using my brick wall back here for some push-ups, and you'll see what that looks like when we get there. So I'm going to start with a dynamic warm-up. There's 3 arm moves and 4 leg moves. If you watch the first video, you'll get some more do's and don'ts on these, but basically your warm-up should not just increase your core temperature, but you really want to go through large movements, range of motion through your joints to make sure that they're prepared for what you're about to ask them to do. All right, and then the 3rd arm movement, again, is the moving goalpost. Elbows should stay up, chest is up. Obviously, only moving through the range that you're comfortable with, and certainly not using momentum to slam it into end range. That would definitely be a problem. All right, let's move on to the leg moves. Knee to chest we start with. Key to this one is that you, stay up nice and tall and not round towards your leg as you pick your leg up. You really want to stay up tall, bend that hip up as high as it will go. And I usually count out 10 to 15 times on each leg. Same thing with the arm moves. I tend to do 10 to 15 of them. All right, next one, moving on to the foot to butt. You're going to kick your foot back to your butt, making sure that your knee stays pointed towards the ground. If you're able to, you can grab that ankle. What I don't want you to do is lean over to grab your ankle. If you repeatedly lean from side to side trying to grab each ankle 10 to 15 times every time you do that workout, that's a lot of kind of not great motion for your low back. I like to keep my back in neutral through my workouts just to protect it. Neutral meaning I've got a rectangle here, right? 2 shoulders, 2 hips. I maintain that rectangle throughout my whole workout. I never let it get smaller. I never let it get bigger and hyperextend. I don't twist it and I don't bend it. I keep my rectangle here and I work hard to do that, and that's what builds my core stability, protects my back. Good, next one is a nice big side step. Nice big side step. Loosens up your groin. Again, trying to move my hip joints, my legs in multiple different directions to prepare for the activities that I'm about to do. Again, 10 to 15 side to side. Awesome. And then the last one is the single leg deadlift. Ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles in line. Standing on one leg, unlock your knee, tip your body forward. Now, it has taken me a while to be able to do this without holding on to anything, so if you need to, find something that can assist you with your balance. What I don't want you to do, though, is lean for the wall and then swing your leg up. Your body needs to come down at the same time that your leg comes up, right? So 10 to 15 of those on each side. And then by the time I'm done with all of that, if I'm not warmed up, I do all of it again. But I'm standing on hot pavement with the sun beating down. I feel pretty warmed up right now. All right, I'm going to move on now to the strength training component of this program. Again, if you do the whole program, it should take you about 30 minutes to complete, including your warm-up, your cardio, your strength training, and your stretching. And you can extend or shorten it as you see appropriate and you have time and energy on any given day. So the cardio, or the strength training piece, I'm going to combine that a little bit today with my cardio. I admitted to you last time, cardio is not my favorite piece of exercise. I definitely like doing the strength stuff better. But I'm going to combine them today so you can see what a Tabata looks like that we talked about last time. Using my phone, I just looked up a nice Tabata app. It's going to give me a buzzer so that I have 20 seconds of work and 10-second breaks. And there's 8 rounds of that. So I'm going to do 4 different moves twice. So we talked about with strength training, there's 5 moves that I like to incorporate with every workout I do. Push, pull, hinge, squat, and carry. And today I'm going to do that in a Tabata format, but I'm going to combine my hinge and my pull, and you'll see what that looks like when we get there. I'm going to start with my push-ups. It's 20 seconds of push-ups. This is a good height for me. Remember, a push-up is a moving plank, so your ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles stay in line. Now, if you find that the height you picked is too easy, you can always bounce off of it a little bit. Push off. Keep that belly button tight. Don't let your back sag. Elbows point down, not out to the sides. All right, there's my rest cue. Now I'm going to combine my hinge and my pull. I'm going to grab my weights, push my hips back, and I can do shoulder extension for my pull. Again, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles always in line. Well, hips, shoulders, and ears right now. I'm pinching my shoulders together with every rep. All right, now I'm going to do my squat. So I'm going to use this bucket as my cue. Feet are wide, knees are wide. Squeeze my butt, drive it forward on the top of every rep. Push my hips back, chest stays up. Sometimes my neck gets a little bit too much motion, so I cue my chin in. Rest. Break. Nice. So I did my push, I did my hinge and pull, I did my squat. Now I'm going to do my carry. I'm going to pick up my weighted bucket, and I'm going to walk as far as I can and back. Now normally I would go like up and down my driveway, but I'd lose you in the video. So this time I'm doing one arm. Rest. On the other end of the Tabata, I'm going to do the other arm, right? Okay, so we're back to the first one. Back to my push. Exercise. Elbows point down, making an arrow as you do that push-up, not a T, right? Belly button stays in, tuck your chin, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles in line. Moving plank, don't let that butt sag. Rest. All right, back to my hinge and my pull. Again with the hinge, make sure you push your hips back, ears, shoulders, hips in line. This time I'm going to do a W, or I can even switch to a T. Belly button's in. Shoulder blades pinch at the end of every rep. Rest. Nice. All right, now I'm going back to my squats. The other thing I could do is step ups on the stairs if I wanted to do something different. Exercise. I could also do jump squats if I wanted to make it a little bit harder. Just making sure your knees stay wide, your feet are wide, your chest is up, your hips go back. If this bothered my knees, I might put something on the bucket so that I'm not squatting so low. Break. All right, last one is carry, right? Now this time I'm going to use my left hand, chest up, and walk. Now I'm lucky my driveway is on a nice grade, so it's a little bit of a challenge when I load up and walk uphill and then back downhill with whatever weight I choose to pick up. Chest up, shoulders back.
Rest.
Awesome. And that's basically a Tabata.
Workout pause.
So that's a Tabata. Four rounds twice, 4 moves. But you could do an entire push Tabata, then an entire pull Tabata. Sometimes I do just a straight cardio where I'm doing jump rope. That's a good addition to the strength training component. Adds a little bit of a kind of a dynamic ballistic motion to my program if I'm up for that on any given day. So once I do all that, I can do some cool down if I want to. I would go back to some of those dynamic warm-up moves and just slow it down. Yeah. The other thing I can do now is just go for my walk. It's been so nice out. I'm lucky, my road is a mile, so if I do it twice, I'm going to do 2 miles. That's a pretty good distance on top of, you know, the strength training and whatnot that I've already done. But I'll always end up with stretch. And we talked about the 3 muscle groups that I feel like are the most important to stretch. And that's your chest, because we tend to be rounded, right? Constantly fighting that, making sure I stretch my chest out, my hip flexors, because when we sit, the front of our hips get really tight. And unless we work on that, we're just doomed to get stiffer and stiffer in that region. And then my calf muscles, I'll stretch my calves out. And it doesn't mean that there isn't other stretching that is important, but those are the 3 that are generally stiff in everyone, so I always spend time doing those. The calf stretch, a couple ways I can do that outside. I can drop my kitty litter, put my foot up, and stretch like that, right? I like to stretch 20 to 30 seconds on each side. Or I can hang off the edge of my step here. As long as I can stay balanced in some way. Alright, so that's calf stretching. And then the hip flexor stretching is a little more complicated. I like to use a pad to protect my knee. I'm going to kneel down. Each knee is in 90 degrees. Sit back a little bit. Do a posterior pelvic tilt. Roll that bum under, pull that belly button in. You got to hold that and then shift forward. If you hold that strong, you shouldn't get very far. If you find that you're stretching way out here, you're hyperextending your back, that doesn't feel great, not good for your spine, make sure you hold that tuck. And you should feel a nice stretch in the front. Right? And then repeat on the other side. 90 and 90 at those knees, sit back, tip, roll forward. Nice stretch now of the right side. That's a hip flexor stretch. And then I would move to my chest stretch, the one I like most. This is with the foam roller. Not super graceful getting on it, but you're going to sit on one end, lay back. Make sure your chin is tucked. And let your arms drop out to a T or a goal post. Nice. And then just fall off to get up. A little braid out in that position for sure. Too much sun. Can't believe I just said that. Thanks for your time.